Turn on the Force.
Hello there! I'm Jedi Joy.
I'm Jedi Jill.
And welcome back to Jedi Twins Banter. This week, again, it's going to be all about Ahsoka. We're going to talk about episode 3. And we have a special guest with us and friend, Kirsten.
Yay!
And she's going to be joining us for this episode. Okay, but before we do,
don't forget to turn on the like and subscribe buttons below and hit your notification button.
That's right. And check down below and at the end screen, I'm going to have a video up of our 500 sub giveaway. You want to get in on the action because we're going to give away an action figure at 500 subs once we reach 500 subs. Then we'll send out a video and let you know how it's going. Okay, here we go.
So Kirsten, welcome.
Hi.
Yeah.
Yes.
So why don't you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
That's right.
So I've been into Star Wars since 2008, whenever the Star Wars Clone Wars movie came out, and I've been obsessed with it ever since. I've been collecting action figures for all this time, and my favorite characters are Ahsoka and Rex, and that's my biggest specialty is those characters and all the stuff that has to do with Clone Wars. So
Yeah.
I'm here to bring some perspective on that and also my knowledge from all the other Star Wars things.
Yay.
Yay!
Very nice.
We're so happy to have you.
Yes, we are.
And so we all watched Ahsoka episode 3 together on Tuesday night when it came on.
We sure did.
And so what did everybody think about that? I mean, who wants to go first?
You want to go first, Joy?
Oh, put me right in there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, as always, it doesn't take much to please me, but I loved it. I love this Ahsoka series. Now, let me tell you,
Oh boy.
I'm going to say it again. This is going to blow Mando out of the water. This is going to be bigger than the Mandalorian. I'm telling you, and I said this before, if you guys been following, yes, it's gonna be bigger. I love it. I love this. I love Ahsoka. Ahsoka is one of my favorite characters too. And actually, it's Kirsten got us started with Ahsoka. And,
She did.
And you know that's we just love her character. But yes, I love the episode. It had a lot of good stuff in it, and we're gonna talk about all that good stuff.
It did. Yeah. So my thoughts on everything was like, wow. So when you're watching something, usually the trend is that every episode should build on it and get better. And I'm feeling that this is happening with Ahsoka. So I'm really enjoying the series. I'm really enjoying this series a lot.
Yeah.
What about you, Kirsten?
So I didn't get to do the review with you guys for the first 2 episodes, but a big thing for me has been a shock to see all the stuff from the Clone Wars and Rebels, well, mostly Rebels, seeing that all come to life and be in live action. It's surreal.
That's right.
Just seeing the things that I've grown up with being put into real life, basically. So seeing that, seeing characters that we haven't seen for a while is really refreshing, and it feels like we're home again.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, we did. We did point that out in the last our first banter on the Ahsoka episodes 1 and 2, and it was really cool. Really cool. I mean, it was sick. I mean, you see these things, and there they are, and it's like, wow.
Yep.
So let's get to some questions.
Well,
Like, let's
talk about when
the
we
first
it opens
scene.
up the first
Yeah.
scene.
What about that first scene?
Well, the training patterns.
Who named?
Like in the Rebels, we just saw
Stances.
the stances.
Mhm.
The stances. So in the Rebels, we just saw them go through like stance 1, stance 2, stance 3, stance 4. But Huang and Sabine, he's helping Sabine train. He's going through and
He's saying the names of the lightsaber stances, which is really cool because the only time we've ever seen that is in the Jedi, I believe it's called the Jedi Path. It's a book on the Jedi way of life, and they go through, they have all the diagrams of the stances, and they have the names of them, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Very.
was.
What about that stick
yeah.
that Sabine was having?
What do
So,
we know about that?
That was really cool because it looks like a Bakken, which is a wooden sword for practice in martial arts, and even in the subtitles it calls it a Bakken saber, so that was cool.
Yeah,
it
that
was.
was really nice. That was really cool just to see that whole scene
Mm-hmm.
and that whole perspective. And actually, I'm a little confused because in the Rebels, Kanan actually trains Sabine a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What are your
Yes.
thoughts on that? I mean, I'm confused with that.
Well, I think a lot like how Ahsoka kind of gives up on Sabine, Kanan also gives up on her because she's so stubborn and very Mandalorian and doesn't want to give up on, you know,
Yep.
her stubborn ways. And she's like, I can't do this. So he gives up on her, gives it over to Ezra, basically. So we've got a similar thing here with Ahsoka revisiting her training.
Yeah. Well, and then we see the helmet go on. That causes her not to be able to see. She's had to seen that before with Kanan. Was Kanan around for that?
So with Kanan, his training with not being able to see, he was with the Bendu, and then with the Jedi Temple Vision, I believe, where he was training to not be able to see, but be able to feel things and be able to predict where things will be.
Right.
So, and along with A New Hope, with Luke's training on the Millennium Falcon.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Sabine really didn't have that knowledge of Kanan's training, but it's very similar. It's another parallel that supports Kanan and Sabine.
Okay, awesome.
But one thing I did notice too, so Sabine, you know, she's all frustrated, and they move out into, I guess their social room, kind of, and they're drinking tea, coffee, I don't know, something blue maybe, I don't know.
Blue, you mean blue milk?
Something like that, and those cups, and, you know, Ahsoka uses the Force to pull the cup away from Sabine, and, you know, she states that you got to start small. So that was her little hint to Sabine, that just practice on doing this. The Force is in everything. And she says, you know, basically just practice doing what I just did. And we see that with Luke. There's a correlation here with Luke and with Yoda, and how Luke got frustrated and he wanted to quit, and Yoda started him with something simple too. It had to start simple. You start simple, and that's with anything. If you set a good foundation, and you build on top of that foundation, and things, you know, those layers build, and you just improve, and it gets more complicated, but, you know, you grow.
Yeah.
So this is the process we're seeing, and Sabine wants to happen right away. And we all know as adults it doesn't happen that way.
No, it does not.
So,
unless you just have it, man.
And even with Luke, with his training, he gives up on it. And it's not until Yoda shows him and he lifts the X-Wing out of the swamp that, you know, Luke had given up at that point too.
Yes.
So I think Sabine has already had her point where she's given up, and I think she's now in the stubborn phase. So she might try to give up again where Ahsoka, you know, gives her a little push, but I think it's very similar.
Yeah, right. So,
well, what about that scene in the ship when they encounter fighting with
Huang?
What do you?
No, with Shin Hati.
Oh, in episode 1, you mean?
No, I mean in episode 3.
You mean the ship fight?
When they're when they're fighting.
Oh.
There's a big battle going on between
Shin Hati, Marok, Ahsoka, and Sabine.
Right.
Yeah.
And Sabine and Ahsoka are battling it out as well. And they're fighting, I want it this way, and Sabine's like, they're just big problems. And so you see finally someone giving in and realizing, and I think there's a lot of stuff in there that's bringing up a lot of things with Ahsoka.
That whole scene there, I believe, was a learning experience for both of them. And what triggers it, because they're both stubborn. They're very, very hard. Both have hard heads. Want to be doing it their way, and this is the way it has to be done, and that's that. And Huang makes a comment, because they're in there, you know, fighting and doing this and blah, 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 blah.
It's like, no, you stick to your guns, and
no,
I'm trying,
he says,
no, this is between Ahsoka and Sabine, and they're just like back and forth.
She makes the comment, oh, I see you got rid of my
presets.
My presets.
Yeah.
She goes,
I didn't need them.
I didn't need them. I didn't need them. And so we have this little bit going on, and you know, Huang, he says the way the both of you are acting, there won't be a later. And right then and there, that triggers something in Ahsoka. And you know what I think? And
I do.
You
I
know
think,
what I'm
and
gonna
I think
say.
Kirsten's agreeing with me as well. Do you want to tell the story?
So in season 2 of the Clone Wars, Ahsoka is given command of a little fleet of starships with clone troopers, and Anakin tells her to get out of there and to get her troops out of there, and she's like, "No, I can do this. I can complete this mission," and she loses a lot of troopers because of that. So it's a big turning point for her as a leader, and having control and like the responsibility of these people's lives. So going through that, I'm sure that it reminded her of that, and so she gives in and says, "What do you need from me?" to Sabine.
Right. So I think that was a big. I think that was a big moment right there.
I really do. Yeah. So
they're both growing still.
They are. They are.
Ahsoka as the master trainer, and Sabine having a willingness to want to be the Padawan and wanting to learn and wanting to do it. But I agree. I think Sabine has a lot of those Mandalorian qualities, that characteristics that just are very stubborn, and that's how they are.
Yeah, and then Ahsoka too. I mean,
well, yes,
the whole,
she was raised by the Order, so
right.
So okay, guys, let's switch it over to Harrison Dula.
Oh yeah, okay.
We see her go in. I don't know exactly where she's at. She's on
the command center and her ship.
Okay.
Not sure what the ship is called.
Okay. All right, so that's where she's at. And she goes in there, and then she's in front of the Senate committee. But guess who we see? Now Chancellor Mon Mothma.
Yeah, and that's something.
Yeah. But I think the thing is now, with her being Chancellor, I think there was some things going around that she really doesn't have quite the control that Palpatine had because of who Palpatine turned out to be. So...
and his increasing power, and I just got a Rogue One book, and it talks about Mon Mothma being through the Clone Wars and seeing how Palpatine gets all this power and continues to get power, and how concerning it is, and then it ultimately results in disaster. So they're obviously starting off a clean slate here, and making sure that probably equal checks and balances with their government.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because she knows so much about what's going on, and she knows about Thrawn and how dangerous he is. So.
Yeah, so we see some political things going that we see a lot of in current day politics, where people aren't doing the right thing.
And it combats with, like what you were saying with her knowledge, it combats with this guy that had not seen anything of the war and was just a politician.
Right, right. And so, and I forget this guy's name, but he's the one that's saying, no, you're going out there because you're going to go search for Ezra. It's not really about Thrawn. And so they end up turning it down. And so she's not going on that she's not going to give them backup support, Ahsoka and Sabine, on this mission. So, but we do learn.
Yay!
Okay, let's see here.
Well, we do see him. We see him finally.
Because it's really exciting because Mon Mothma asks about how Jason is doing, and all the fans that have watched Rebels are like, yes, how is Jason doing? And then we get to see him.
Yay!
And he's there.
Now, guys, if you remember...
Oh, here we go.
I said we were going to see him in Ahsoka, didn't I? And there he is. And I hope we see a lot more of him. I hope that he gets involved on...
I hope we start to see that he has force come, like he's going to start training.
I want to be a Jedi, Mommy.
I know you do, Jason.
Yeah, right?
That's right. Chopper told me I could be a Jedi.
No, Chopper told him that his Aunt Sabine was going to be training to be a Jedi.
Yeah, and he said he could be one too. Right?
Oh, I guess.
I thought maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know.
Either way, I cried when I saw him. So, yeah.
It was cool. It was really cool to see him.
Yeah, we love that part. That was really good.
Yeah.
Boom, there he is. Okay, so
Well, we were so happy to have you,
I
Kirsten.
know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
So you're
Yeah.
very welcome. Thank you for joining us on
Uh-huh.
our Jedi Twins Banter this week.
Uh-huh.
That's a wrap for this week. But don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons below.
Turn on the notifications button.
Turn on notification buttons. Check out the link below in the description.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the next one. I'm Jedi Joy.
I'm Jedi Jill.
And I'm Kirsten.
Oh, okay, that's right.
May the force be with you.